Дорогие друзья, сегодня мой гость, замечательный музыкант из Финляндии, Antti Sarpila. Он празднует в этом году 50-летие, свой настоящий юбилей. И у меня несколько вопросов к нему. Я их задам на английском, а потом переведу вам на русский. Antti, so first of all, congratulations with your birthday and jubileum. And
Спасибо большое.
yes. So Antti, you are very famous now in Russia. Do you know that?
No, I didn't.
Well,
I'm glad to hear.
I believe that you
This
know
news.
because you've been touring in Russia many times.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, that's
Yes, and you have your audience, your fans, and really that's fantastic because you're a great musician, and people in Russia, they should know about you, about your music, swing music, and the great tradition what you share with your audience. So there is a plenty of information about you in Wikipedia, in internet, but I have several questions. They are not in internet. First of all, I'd like to come back to your background. So you're from Pori, you Pori line,
Yes.
right? So what was the time when you started to interested in music, in jazz music?
You know, my father, Antti Sarpila, was one of the founders of Pori Jazz Festival, which was the first jazz festival in Finland, started in 1966, still going strong, one of the biggest ones in Europe. And so we have had jazz music back home from how far I can remember. My dad plays clarinet and saxophone, so that's how I got my interest from.
Exactly, but I knew that your father was totally in bakery business.
Yeah, we had a bakery, family bakery, and I used to work there too, but then the music took over.
That's a hard work and very early in the morning. So
Oh yeah,
when jazz musicians,
like jazz,
Yeah,
but the reverse.
yes, exactly. When jazz musicians stop
Yeah,
playing, the
bakery
start.
starts,
Yeah. So, but anyway, during your teenager time, I understood that you met Bob Wilbur.
Yeah, Bob Wilbur was one of the guests in the Pori Jazz 1980, and I was assigned to be his guide. All the foreign artists had one guide, so Jyrki Kangas, his wife Paula Kangas, told me that Antti, you'll guide Wilbur to the hotel.
That's great.
And then of course I had my little clarinet case with me, and he noticed that, said that, aha, you play clarinet? Yes, I said, yes, I do. So, okay, come up to my hotel room and let's put your clarinet together and we'll play something. And I was 16 years old, and then he asked me the question that would I like to come over to the United States and live with him and study with him, exactly like he had done in 1940s with great Sidney Bechet.
So he is the guy who is keeping the tradition of Sidney Bechet, and
Exactly,
yeah,
yeah.
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like in Zen Buddhism, they give the
Yeah,
the
That's
wisdom of
exactly the old-fashioned style of passing. The master passes his knowledge
Exactly,
to the
yeah.
parentis, I think it's the
Exactly.
English word. for
Yeah.
that.
Antti, by the way, this clarinet, it's clarinet of Bob
Yeah,
Wilbur.
it's Bob's old clarinet. Yeah, he sold this one to me, and I've been playing this for last almost 30 years now.
Incredible. So how old is that?
Someone told me that it's from 1920s. I thought it was from the 30s, but
Still in great shape.
Yeah, it is.
Even it's sometimes it's, I can see that
Yeah,
there
some
is a-
cracks,
yeah.
but I mean they can be fixed. So these old instruments, they still sound much better than the ones they manufacture today.
But they are much more low than.
Yeah, that's the problem. They are made for the pitch of the 1920s, which I guess used to be 438. Today it's 44, even 443 in
Exactly.
Germany.
Yeah. I played
That's a
actually
problem.
446.
That's awful. I couldn't play that. I couldn't
Yeah,
do
that's
that with
really
this
hard.
instrument.
So, but anyway, Antti, you are very often visiting Russia.
Yeah, more and more.
Yeah, I'm very glad and very happy for that because you share your great tradition, what you got from Sidney Bechet via Bob Wilbur,
Yeah, and there's a lot of thanks to you.
Oh, thank you very
I'm
much.
sure many of my gigs come true that you have recommended my playing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Antti, you've been in Russia many times, and what do you think about this jazz situation in this country?
I've been overwhelmed of how good players there are. I mean, and how much they respect the traditions of jazz, which is not always the case in Europe. I mean, young players, they really study, they Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, all that classic jazz period, and I've been so fortunate to play with such a good players there.
So you somehow think that the players, young Russian players, they more or less based on the tradition than bebopish or modern jazz?
Like young players in Europe seem to be against older styles, but in Russia they all understand that this is where we are coming from. I mean,
is it related to spirit or for? I mean,
I think it has to be because the culture in Russia has always been appreciated. Even during the Soviet times, I believe that the culture was one of the main things that kept people living through those difficult times.
Especially classic music and ballet.
That's right.
Have you visited Russia during Soviet times?
Yes, very few times, couple of times. So I know what I'm talking about. I see the difference, how much now the freedom of everybody can do what they want, but they still love the tradition, and that's so important.
Great. So, do you remember any Russian players whose guarantee, the good swing?
I've been so fortunate to play with in St. Petersburg. Of course, there's David Goloshokin, but then there are those two young clarinet players. You know, I can't remember all the Russian names. Fyodor is the son of the Fyodor Kuvachev, good clarinet player, and then Konstantin Kasanovich, excellent, yes. Also piano, like you do, yeah.
And drummer, fantastic, by the way.
You are talking about,
he's
really?
a drummer,
I didn't know that, yeah. Excellent players. Of course, in Moscow there are, I've been working with this Oleg Lundström's Chamber Jazz Orchestra, I don't remember how they pronounce it, but excellent players. There's a young trumpet player, Konstantin Gevodnian, who has this Moscow Ragtime Orchestra. I've been playing with them. And then I've been visiting Novosibirsk for 2 times. I've been doing Krasnodar for several times. I just did Kazan and Chelyabinsk.
From Kazan, I've got lots of really good comments about you. So you played with the symphony orchestra.
Yeah, we did this swinging the opera. So, which is like symphony orchestra, opera singers, and the big band and myself, and then we switch from the classical aria to the jazz version of the same.
One of the greatest projects of Antti Sarpila. I don't talk about the old traditional, beautiful tributes to Benny Goodman and many others. Antti, he's so much in classical music, like making a great version of opera. And now it's very popular in Moscow. So I understood that you every year going to
I've been doing it for 10 years now. Yeah. Usually between the Christmas, New Year season, that's when they want to have this kind of
So
material.
maybe a few words to the Russian audience, especially young Russian audience, who probably want to study this music, and what you could recommend them.
Today you have access to everything. I mean, in YouTube you can find everything. So of course, the whole classic jazz period, you can't, if you listen to Louis Armstrong, you can't go wrong. Benny Goodman's music. That's where you find the Count Basie, that's where you find the swingy rhythm section of Basie. So go and listen to that old stuff.
So it has lots of great swing, great timing. And after with this good timing, so you can play any jazz music.
That's right.
From bebop, avant-garde, whatever, anything.
Yeah, like Duke Ellington said it in his tune, that it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing.
Antti, thank you very much and congratulations with your jubileum. Thank you so much. Antti Sarpila.
До свидания.